Come on, the FBI was here. We're fully cooperating. Fully cooperating. Cooperation is funny. It makes a cloudy day sunny. Makes a bee think of honey. Just don't get honey on your hairy legs. Say it a million times, you never get it off. I told Hunter, he won't listen. He's just a kid. He doesn't know better. Hey, look, here's the deal. I'm the first guy to ever... True story. It's not a joke. First guy in the history of the... Anyway. He's amazing.
More than half the women in my cabinet, more than half the people in my cabinet, more than half the women in my administration are women.
What?
Will you take any blame for inflation, Mr. President?
Are taking blame for inflation? No.
Why not?
Because it was already there when I got here, man.
What?
We're going to get to work. Thank you for coming.
Mr. President.
And even as the job market reaches historic highs, inflation continues to come down. Come down. The only guy that I'm aware of when I stopped riding Amtrak that had a key to get in the back. When the hell has America ever set a goal that it didn't reach? When has it ever? Name me a time. Name me a time.
It is unbelievable. Don't tell me this is about consistency. Don't tell me that this is about a condemnation of anti-Semitic remarks.
What?
It's time to conspire. I'm so sorry, Fred. But I didn't get a single apology. My life was great. Thank you.
Gentlemen is no longer recognized.
Yeah, we took a home loan, and we had to do some repairs, fix the gutters and retile the bathroom. Come on! Of course we needed it for lawyers. Of course we did. Hookers and lawyers, that's all Hunter ever spent his money on. I told them they'll both screw you, but only one of them's worth doing a refi on the beach house.
Today, I wanted to introduce you to a new friend in our class. This, Huckleberries, is my friend Nash. It's their first day in our class. They're just looking around at all of you, and they're so curious to know who you all are.
No wonder they want so many kids in pre-K.
It was fun. It was really interesting, though, knowing going in, being like, I don't know what questions kiddos are going to have or what they're going to say, which is both like nerve-wracking, but also kind of exciting. It's that place of not knowing as a teacher and just being okay with that.
You're a teacher.
And a friend likes to ask the question, are you a boy or a girl? And Nash answers, I'm just a kid.
But kids can be boys or
They can be boys or girls. Yeah.
or maybe non-binary.
Yeah.
It was just like
non-binary.
non-binary, yeah.
What
That's
the
just
hell has
something
that
I
got to do
know.
with anything?
This is something, I mean, it's like, they're 4 and 5 years old, and they just didn't make a big deal out of being a boy or a girl.
And I think
This
it
is
was a huge
indoctrination.
testament to how much we've been talking about it in the classroom that you never mentioned the term non-binary. It was a child
Oh,
who
yeah,
brought
it
that
was
up
drummed up
because
into
it's
some kid's
constantly
head.
in conversation.
Whoa, put on the brakes, put on the brakes. Welcome, boys and girls, children of all ages, hoofties, pufties, long-eyed heifers, right and left-wing wackos, woodchucks and chuckettes, kings and queens of the Northeast Kingdom, to another version of It's News to Us.
And, of course, you know who you are, right?
Yeah. Who are you? Who are we? What are we doing here? Who am I? Oh, thanks, Philo. In the booth, we have Philo T. Farnsworth, College of Musical Knowledge. You can see his videos, drum videos, at on YouTube at Terry DeFazio. Check them out now. We keep them locked in the booth, slide them a pizza under the door. But you're watching It's News to Us. We're Newport's oldest TV news watchers. New brown cow, as the locals say. And defund the police? No, we're going to defend the cops because the cities are getting out of hand. Philo and I were just talking. It's gone crazy, okay?
Yeah, all 22 of them in Burlington.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's getting out of hand. I got a great Burlington story I'm going to lead off with. You'll love it.
I want to hear it.
it also goes back to the pandemic relief money that they spread around like cream cheese.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to defund the cops because you know what? The days of the bad cops, the good cops covering for the bad cops are over. Oh, and we cater to men, women. You know, with this whole tranny thing, they keep pushing it. We're going to show you that. Philo's got a good clip put on this week. It's a little long, but it shows this kid, Ed or Ted, whatever the hell's his name.
I thought it was a woman.
It's called Nash, the puppet, the black puppet that the girls use sitting there talking to the kids with. That puppet is called Nash. Anyways, you'll see the clip. Men, women, you're all welcome here. Just wash your damn hands afterwards. And here, you know, unarmed people killed by police. Here's the stats. Look them up because, you know, they keep saying, oh, these cops are shooting people right and left. Well, you know what? A lot of them are flipping out and deserve to be shot. They shot this one guy in L.A. He's a double amputee, this friggin' wacko black guy. He charged the cops. He stabbed somebody with like a 12-inch Bowie knife or something. And then he was going after the cops with a knife, and the cops keep telling him, drop the knife, drop the knife. All you have to do, drop the friggin' knife and comply. Oh, no. Keep charging the cops. Wonder why they shoot you. Excuse me. Yeah, here we are. Anyways, and here's some other, what the heck is this? This is a number of the death stats, okay? These are true death stats. Look them up. They're on the web. You can find them. Let's see. These are, 53 killed. Obesity kills 40,000. Motorcycles, drownings, fire. It's a gun grab. That's all. They want to take away our guns because they can see in every other country if you don't have an armed population, you got no chance. That's it. Tyranny runs supreme. And here's some websites for you. I'll leave them on for you guys. You can hit pause if you're watching YouTube or Rumble. Philo's nice enough to post the shows up for us. And, here's some more, too. This Dr. Paul Alexander, I read his book about his battles with Fauci. And I hope they drag him up there to testify. He'll willingly testify about all of Fauci's crap. And Fauci really ought to come clean. He's going to have to pay the piper. And all hail the cadaver in chief. He's going to be on TV tonight, man. This ought to be interesting. Yeah, okay, sure. And and speaking of Poivoits and kids, you can see the standards at this website, seicus.org, SCICUS.org. And you can see the teachers, the so-called teachers, they're just going hog wild. I don't know what the hell's wrong with them, man. It's all like they've all got sex on the brain. It's like, leave the kids alone, damn it. Just leave them alone. Leave the kids the hell alone. But anyways, okay. Here's the story I'm going to lead with here. It's a full-page story about the system is broken. About what's the undertitle here? Unhoused. Don't you love that?
Unhoused?
Yeah, it went from bums, okay, to homeless to unhoused now.
I'm going to have a beer. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we got to figure out the nomenclature. It's pure newspeak, man. Pure newspeak. But anyways, the scamdemic was a cash cattle call for every loser in New England. Because they all have cell phones, and they all said, well, we'll get free stuff. If you move to Vermont, you don't have to show residency or anything. You can just move to Vermont, and they'll put you up in a motel. The junk is cheap. Fentanyl's on the street. There's plenty of crack downtown. And look, here's a woman. She's 54 years old, and they profile her in this article, right, Philo?
Okay, what'd they profile her for?
Well, she was willing to talk to the reporter, and you know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and explain her situation. Excuse me. Angela Izzo's rule of thumb is it always takes 3 weeks. 3 weeks for a hotel to reject her emergency house voucher, 3 weeks to find an available apartment, would not take her voucher, 3 weeks to finally get approved for a South Burlington hotel where she lives now. She's got a sense of humor. It comes with repeated frustration and letdowns. Now, let's see. Why would you think this woman's 54 years old, right? She's got 10, 12 years to retire. She looks fairly healthy to me, you know. But what do I know? I mean, there's a lot of things you can't diagnose by looking at people, obviously. But here it is, right here. Izzo, 54, lacks a job because of physical and mental health challenges from her melanoma treatment and the stress of being unhoused for over 2 years. Now, a lot of people have cancer. You beat cancer, any cancer, you think you'd be happy, you know, to beat it and get on with your life, right?
I would think so.
Oh, I would think so, too. No, but, you know, that's it. I mean, you get in the system, you can get in the system, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to work for the last 10 years of your life, of your working age life, that is. Let's see. But she's an affinity for detail from a career in graphic design and reads every word of every document she signs. Well, that's obvious. She also has a car, and she doesn't suffer from addiction. Oh, suffering from addiction. Well, that's good. She's straight.
And then she can be like me and just plain suffer.
And just what?
Just suffer.
Yeah, just
plain suffer.
She's not suffering from addiction. She's just suffering.
That's me. I wake up in the morning, the knees, the ankles, everything.
Even with her put together, who's the reporter here? Oh, Lily St. Angelo, of course, for the Burlington Free Press and USA Today. Even with her put together appearance and self-advocacy, Izzo remains impermanently housed. Her story illustrates how easy people fall through the cracks when a system. Oh, you're going to love this. Everybody, embrace the victimhood, everyone. Embrace the victimhood. The bigger the victim, the more you get. The system's overwhelmed. The number of people experiencing homelessness doubled from 20 to 22, according to the Vermont Coalition to End Homelessness. Of course. And how many of these, they won't tell you, how many of these people are from Vermont or how many just blew in on the wind because they knew they could get a good deal, get a good deal, and 3 hots, a cot, and friggin', spend whatever your paycheck is, you get drunk, or, how many are Vermonters, really Vermonters? Izzo's faced barriers, including high turnover rates and burnout among social service employees and ever-changing state rules, and her own vulnerabilities that come with being unhoused with no end in sight to finding a way to stay in Vermont. Now, how did this all start, you say, right, Philo?
Well, I'm not so sure myself.
She was evicted from her home share in Winooski on December 1st, 2020. That was an election year. We're past the pandemic, almost. That's when they were really, December 1st, 2020. No, that was right after the vaccines came out. That's when they were pushing the vaccines, remember?
Well, yeah, I think it was about February, March is when this pandemic started. And then this was in December, the tail end of 2020. Yeah, then the vaccines were getting pushed.
The vaccines came out right after Trump after Biden got selected, and it was an illegal eviction because of the informal way her landlord went about it. So there's eviction moratorium in place. Now, wait a minute, it's a home share. It's not, did you have a written contract? There's a lot left out here, right, Philo?
Yeah.
Since then, she learned a lot about the state's housing system, including 2 key truths. She's reliant on the people who advocate for her, and everything moves at a snail's pace. This fall, it took 2.5 months of searching on her own and 9 rejections to get a hotel room for the winter due to extremely limited availability and the state requiring hotels to sign a written occupancy agreement, which some are shying away from. Okay, so then it goes on how you qualify. Obviously, you get priority if you're old, if you're a pregnant person, if you're disabled, stuff like that. You get priority.
If you're a birthing person, right?
Yeah.
A birthing person, right?
A birthing person.
Jeez.
I can learn a lot. I can learn quick, but I'm trying to get all the rules down, and they change so fast every time. So anyways, she talks about how she gets, she hooks up with someone at COTS, which is the committee. Here's a whole list of the agencies. Bounce between. She got the Howard Center, which is a bunch of grant-sucking chair warmers, these mental health buffoons that suck tons of money from grants and stuff. The CVOEO, the Champlain Valley Office of Economic Opportunity, another Bernie Sanders make-work Soviet-style outfit.
Sounds impressive.
Yeah. And finally, COTS, the Committee on Temporary Shelter, where she was told she could find a housing case manager. Okay, here we go. Now it's going to get like Beetlejuice. Remember when they had your caseworker, Juno, the chain smoker who had a friggin' cut in her throat and the smoke kept coming out? I'm Juno, your caseworker.
Yep.
COTS provide a variety of services, said Rebecca Mott. And it goes on and on and on. Let's see. Then she gets, I don't know, for some reason, because of the burnout of the staff or whatever, she met, let's see, after waiting 2 months, but she had met with 3 different caseworkers. Let's see. For his former caseworker, she was frustrated. Not only did having a caseworker keep her compliant for her hotel room, they were the liaisons. The fact that I tried many times to reach out, blah, 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 made me feel less than worthless, dismissed, upset, bitter, angry, and eventually furious. Well, tell us how you feel. Can you point on the doll? Point on this doll where they hurt you.
I'm old, I'm drunk, and I'm angry.
I'm old, I'm straight, and I'm angry.
Yeah, that's two.
Anyways, blah, 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 blah. Suarez, Izzo's last caseworker, quit their job. Here we go, the programs. Their pronouns. Their pronouns, not quit his job or her job. They quit their job, Philo. They got the proper pronouns. Now, how are you supposed to read a story when they're talking about people like plural? Yeah. Get this. This is crazy town, man. Suarez quit their job and for a variety of reasons, but mainly because they could feel themselves burning out, even after being there for only a few months. They saw burnout all around them in casework, especially during the scamdemic when they were handling 30 to 50 cases a time as unhoused bums, people flooded the system. Suarez also saw how burnout caused some caseworkers to have resentment towards the clients, some of whom were not naturally easy to work with. Oh, you think?
I'll drink to that.
Come on, man, just give me my room. I'm getting a little antsy. I gotta go out and get my stuff, Can you hurry this up a bit? It's really tough when people are responding to people suffering because there's a lot of room for harm there. Doesn't know what happened, blah, 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 blah. They're going to be the hardest part of their lives. Now, get this. Tiny home dreams. Get this. Somehow, this scamdemic money that they got, that they were spreading out like cream cheese, enabled this woman to have, look at this, a tiny house built, Philo.
Oh, hey, that looks nice.
Yeah, but man, I mean, if you're gonna drive around with something that that you could tow behind a car easily, a pop-up camper would have everything you need except for a bathroom and a shower, and this thing don't have no bath or shower, right, Philo?
And you can park it at Wall Hog.
Yeah, you could pop a camper. You could pop up a camper anywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it would have probably cost half of what this jackass woodchuck built friggin' monstrosity cost. Now get this. This is where it gets really squirrely. Soon after she lost communication, she learned from her hotel about the Community Health Center's homeless health care program that free physical and mental health as casework. She was assigned to John Feely and been his client ever since. With Feely's help, she embarked on the next step of her search for a home, buying a tiny house. So look at this guy. This guy's got a friggin' tie-dyed Grateful Dead shirt on, like me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and he's your caseworker. Your caseworker with the ponytail over there, okay? Look, he used to be a roadie for friggin' the Dead, he's working here now.
Or Cheech and Chong.
Yeah, for Cheech and Chong. So anyways, it's in Izzo's nature to think outside the box. The state's Rapid Resolution Housing Initiative in 2021 promised unhoused people like Izzo money to pay for a deposit in the first few months for rent for an apartment, or money for other barriers to getting housed, like repaying debt, moving costs, etc. Izzo, who couldn't finding an apartment, this grammar is horrible, Philo.
And he's a caseworker?
No, this is the reporter here.
Oh, well, that's different. We don't expect them to know what they're doing.
Izzo, who couldn't find an apartment, who couldn't find an apartment due to the extremely low vacancy, began asking her caseworkers when she was still a client if she could use the money to buy a tiny house. Oh, sure, we'll have a tiny house, and look, and here's your tiny house, and look it's even got a flower box in front of the window, Philo. Isn't that wonderful?
I think it's just lovely.
A flower box. Yay! And we'll pay some woodchuck to build it, and then they can screw you over. Get this. She had always been interested in tiny homes. Her anxiety, which got worse, makes it difficult to live around people who drink, smoke, or use drugs. And she liked the idea of living in her own standalone house in the country, even if it was tiny. She also liked how they were portable. That thing is not portable. It weighs a friggin' ton because it's got a conventional roof made with 2x4s and shingles, and what the hell? A pop-up camper is lightweight. What? It's got a built-in heater, a little sink, a little stove, a little oven.
Well, Steve, I'd be kind of anxious around people that drank and did drugs too. Seems to be too many of them around.
Well, yeah, but if you're gonna, if you're gonna live a bum lifestyle, you gotta expect a few bums around the corners, right?
Absolutely.
Her plan, she could get a job. There's nothing impeding her from work. In the lowest unemployment, anyways. Her plan was to barter with a farmer or property owner in a rural area to exchange services for land on which to put the tiny house.
Oh, exchange services. That's
yes.
A good one.
Yes. Like
that guy over in St. Albans with his 15-year-old girl or 16-year-old girl?
Yes, I was thinking about that state rep. What the hell was his name? McSomething or other.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. And he was, the girl was supposed to be working off her electric bill in the trailer on his property for, services rendered.
Well, folks, we digress once again.
Oh, man, because we've seen it up here before. We have.
Yep.
Let's see. Services for land on which to put the tiny house. She resolved that if worse came to worse, she could park it at campsites. Well, you could do the same thing with a pop-up camper. You know what? And it'd be easier to trailer around, and it wouldn't be a giant Jed Clampett-looking granny in the back in a rocking chair, stupid friggin' flower box window. What the hell? Anyway.
I'm speechless. Just speechless.
The process of filling out the application, finding a tiny house to buy, and working with a contractor to fix it up and make it habitable took months. Her friend and her friend's partner did the work on the tiny house. Okay, I'm thinking probably a couple of lesbian carpenters, Philo.
It's all tongue and groove and no studs.
Forgive us.
Wait a minute, Steve's got to have a cigarette here. Hold on.
I've only had 3 today. I swear, I got by with 2 yesterday. 2 or 3. Anyways, I'm cutting down, people. I'm quitting.
You never heard that joke before?
Not in a long time if I did.
Okay.
So anyways, A friend's partner did the work, and the program gave the check directly to the partner and the lesbians before Izzo inspected the project. When she went to see the final product, it was clear that the couple had swapped many of the agreed-upon materials for cheaper alternatives, cut a cord for the propane, leaving her propane heater unusable, and left out some aspects altogether, including a $500 solar generator. The couple said that they'd used all the money that they'd been given, and Izzo was left with an unlivable tiny home. Now, wait a minute here.
That's horrible. That's just horrible.
They cut an electric line to the propane heater, Philo? How hard would that be to replace?
I don't know. I'm not familiar with either one.
Cut a cord to the propane, leaving the heater unusable. Look, you have a pipeline for the propane, you have an electric cord for a heater, blower, fan. Now, what the hell, Ms. St. Angelo, you reporter, how come you didn't, what? And then a solar generator left out some aspects, including a over $500 solar generator. Now you get into solar, you put solar panels, solar generator, I'm thinking solar panels, right?
Yeah.
Now you get into that, you're talking, okay, solar panel, you're going to need lead acid batteries, those are heavy, okay? You need a way to store the power, right?
Yeah.
One of those wall packs is going to friggin' cost you an arm and a leg, and they're heavy too. What the hell? A solar generator. No, none of this makes any sense. The experience, combined with the letdowns of the past 2 years, made Lizzo lose blind trust in friends and advocates. I trust to a fault. The problem is I'm becoming more and more jaded, less trusting, and bitter and angry. Oh, man. So anyways.
Well, at least she's not drunk.
Yeah.
Just jaded and angry.
Here we are. Get into the pregnant people. You're going to love this.
Oh, boy.
Vermont's pandemic emergency housing program ended on June 30th. Starting July 1st, to get a hotel room, a person must have lost their housing from a catastrophic event or be a vulnerable person, which includes seniors, people on disability, pregnant people in their third trimester, not pregnant women, pregnant people. I identify as pregnant, Philo. I got a bear gut. I'm in the third trimester.
Boy, oh boy.
Am I a pregnant person? If I think I am?
Hold on.
He's playing Russian roulette, folks. Let me interpret for you.
Hey, comrade, I'm playing Russian roulette. You want to play?
Pregnant people in their third trimester, children aged 6 or younger, are a combination of 4 other characteristics that count as points towards eligibility. So you get points. Okay, you get vulnerability points. Did I tell you it's the Victim Olympics, man?
I like it.
Yeah. The judges, they all hold up a card, with the number on it. It's the Victim Olympics. Okay, according to the DCF, Izzo, who no longer qualified, began sleeping in her car, camping, and couch hopping, not knowing about other programs she qualified for that began July 1st. Anyways, she had to figure out where the best places to hang out, sitting areas, bathrooms, Wi-Fi, and microwaves. Sleeping in her car irritated the foot she had surgery on when she had cancer. Her doctor grew concerned for her circulation, but there was nothing she could do. You can improve circulation by standing, walking, whatever. Come on, people. I'm learning that the hard way. What the hell? Finally, in September, she learned that if she could find her own room at a hotel willing to take a 3-month transitioning voucher, she could get housed for the winter. After 2 months this fall of back and forth with 9 hotels signing on, she finally found a room at a hotel in late November. Izzo has not yet given up on her tiny house dream, but has not yet found a solution to the predicament she's in. The tiny house is now parked in her motel parking lot as she goes through the process of trying to get the money back to finish it. Just another missing piece in the puzzle of getting housed. Good luck, honey. You're going to try and go to the friggin' civil courts to get your money back? Good luck with that. Oh, man. So that's it. This is the kind of so-called tearjerker we're supposed to be getting into, right? Unbelievable. Oh, and here we are. This is from Monday's paper, yesterday's paper. Mediator. Putin said he won't kill Zelensky. So I'm looking at this, and like I always say, you got to read it from bottom to back to front, to get any truth, right? Now, it's a story about the peace mediator, former Israeli Prime Minister Naftali Bennett. He was in the first weeks of the war, one of the few leaders to meet with Putin during in Moscow last March. Now, listen to this. This guy, Israel, had worked out a peace conference. Bennett said he called Zelensky to tell him that Putin said he wouldn't kill him. Bennett said that during his mediation, Putin had dropped his vow to seek Ukraine's disarmament, and Zelensky promised not to join NATO. And the war could have been over in March, Philo. But why didn't it end in March? Because of idiots like Biden and NATO keep shoving, like little kids, shoving kids to fight with each other on the playground.
Well, that'll do it.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. And we're going to, but now the last week they're saying, we're going to send them M1 Abrams tanks and we're going to have a spring offensive to take back Crimea. You're not taking back Crimea, okay? The Russians have given up blood and treasure. They fought the Turks for that. They fought the Ottomans. They fought the friggin' Genghis. No. I mean, these people, the Russians burned down Moscow rather than have Napoleon take it, Philo.
Yeah.
These people specialize in winter warfare, and they don't let people screw with Mother Russia.
Nope, just ask Hitler and go ask, what's his name there, Napoleon.
Yeah, another corporal.
Yeah, forget about it.
Mad corporals. Oh, and then what do we got last? It just happened, Philo? It is balloon! I got to put on my commie Chinaman's hat here.
99 Luft balloons. Remember that song?
Yeah, it was a good one. 99 dust doof balloons. Well, let's see. Oh, yeah. Balloons downing a spectacle over South Carolina. Yeah, they came out and they said, well, there's gaps and seams in NORAD. Now, these people, come on, man. They saw the launch. They saw the launch of that stupid balloon from China. The thing's as high as like a 10-story building, Philo?
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. And then it's got, never mind 3 buses underneath it. It had a fuselage underneath it. It was the size of a friggin', like a 747. And then, it's crazy, man. They could have shot it. If they'd sent up an old F-16, I was talking to Philo about it, an F-16 with a 50 caliber bullet. Because see, the F-35, F-22s that we have now, the Raptors, they're missile launch only, okay? They don't have friggin' machine guns. If they had sent up an old F-16 or an older plane with a 150 caliber bullet through that balloon, it would have gone and fell down to the ground slowly. But oh no, did they do that when it was up in Anchorage, up in the 12-foot, 20-foot snow drifts in Alaska? Oh, no, mister. You know why? Because Bidens are owned by common China. See, we own a Biden. We own Joe. We own Joe brother. We own Joe's son. We own Joe's granddaughter, too. We sent her on an all-paid vacation just to take care of Bidens, because that's the way we are. Yeah, it was a spectacle, man. It was crazy. And they kept trying to hide it. Now they come out and they just flat-ass lie. Oh, well, there were balloons during Trump when Trump was president. Oh, yeah, you remember that, Philo?
No.
Don't you remember it was all over the news and Trump wouldn't, Trump said, it's just China. They're not bad folks. Yeah. Just like Biden said,
Well, he may have said that, but didn't shoot down any balloons that I know of.
But you remember that? They came out and said that. They said they were balloons. Well, what they said, they couched their words. They said they were UAPs. Of course we had, UFOs all over the place, but that doesn't make them a friggin' balloon. Oh, yeah, it happened during Trump, and, it's no big deal, and we're monitoring the signals. And, when the thing comes down, we'll get all the intelligence we need. Oh, what do you think? That thing was sending up info to China's spy satellites. It doesn't have a friggin' operating program like Windows 98 with a hard drive built in. Come on, people. All the intel has gone up. That's why they sent the AWACS plane out when it was over Montana, to see what kind of it was, going up into the what kind of information it was pushing out. Look at poor old Spike and Mac. Yep, those were the days, Mister.
Mac and cheese.
Yeah, I gotta go through some old video and get some more Mac in the dog run. And here it is. This is from today's paper too. Yeah. That's crazy, man. And we've been monitoring these people, and they say there are guys that come out of the woodwork who've said that China has perfected operating systems where they can launch those hypersonic missiles from the friggin' balloons, Philo.
Oh, nice.
And Anthony Blinken. Okay. Now, what did Anthony Blinken do before he became Secretary of State, Philo?
I don't know the guy.
Oh, he was running a consulting service in Washington, D.C. And you know who one of his biggest clients was, Philo? The Communist Chinese Party.
Well, that's good work.
Oh, yeah.
Get some of our money back from those guys, huh?
See, Joe, we own a Blinken, too. We own Blinken, we own Biden, we own everybody. That's why nobody like a Trump, because Trump can't be bought, okay? Now, never mind that everything was better under Trump. Now, 70% of Americans say, we're worse off now than we were before. We don't care about Trump's mean tweets. We want cheap gas prices back. We don't want to have to take out a second mortgage to pay for heating oil. And we don't have to friggin' take out a car loan, a loan to get a dozen eggs, man. We want a Trump back. Trump knew what he was doing. Ah, yeah. China upset over use of force of spy balloons. You know why?
So awful.
They let this thing go because they didn't want to upset they wanted Blinken to go over and be shown rubbing up against the Chinese and look purring like cats and we're all good now, and they've agreed to work on climate gases and blah blah, to distract, because tomorrow the hearings start about Hunter's laptop, okay? Today the hearings were on about the weaponization of the government to go after political enemies, which hasn't happened since Richard Milhouse friggin' Nixon was president. Ah, yeah.
Those were the days, weren't they?
Oh, sure.
Those were the days, weren't they, Steve?
Yeah. Well, get this. That's why people are so pissed off about this inflation, Philo, because they've never seen it in their lifetimes before. We have.
Yeah, we saw it with Jimmy Carter, of course.
Jerry Ford, whip inflation now.
Yeah, with Jerry Ford, it was pretty bad, because I was in the shop when he was president. And then under Carter, it got worse because of the Arab oil embargo.
Yeah,
but
and what did we do under Trump? We went from the world's largest importer of oil to the world's largest exporter of oil and gas. We found out that we are sitting on a sea of oil. All we have to do, we've invented new methods to frack it out of the friggin' ground. And what does Biden do? First day he comes in, I'm going to end fossil fuels on day one, mister. That's it.
Oh, sure. You're going to do that overnight, huh?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, you should see. There's a guy, he's a pro-electric EV guy, right? Mm-hmm. Pro-electric car. I think he's a writer for the New York Times, the Washington Post, whatever. I mean, real liberals, right? And so he tried to, he explained what the hell's going on. He says half of the chargers that they've been building don't work, okay? And you pull up to a charging station, it takes an hour, maybe two, if you're lucky enough to put it on fast charge, because see, half of them don't work because they're all put in by union electricians, And it's crazy. just look up, search EVs aren't as good as they should be or whatever. The article will pop up. It just came out last week. I should have written the guy's name down, but I'm stupid. Anyways, how about some news that we won't hear, right?
Okay.
Oh, the economy is doing so great. It's doing so great, and Biden's going to be patting himself on the back tonight at the State of the Union address.
If he can find it.
Yeah, right. The AAA companies are all having massive layoffs, had the worst quarters ever. Amazon, Apple, and Alphabet, which is the parent of Google, they're all just flat out on their back, friggin' choking. I get emails from Amazon every day. Come on, please order something, an old book, a paperweight, a pet rock. Order something. We're dying here.
We don't get those.
I do.
The wife and I, we get stuff on Amazon here and there.
Apple's had the worst quarterly drop since 2016. Let's see. All these jobs that they're touting, they're mostly lower wage jobs. U.S. equipment orders, last time they were up was in September of 2020. They've been down, according to Schwab, since Biden. They're almost zero. It's dire. It's getting worse. These are equipment orders, okay? And the leach industries, you can tell the leach industries, that's what Ralph Nader called them, like bottled water, Yep. That's the leach industry. And these car insurance deals where, if your car breaks down, you can if you got insurance with us, we'll pay for your car repairs. Well, why is that? Because, in the old days when people were making decent money under Trump, you had some savings. So if your car broke down, you could afford to fix it. Well, now you don't, okay? Now you don't, because inflation's eating up everything. And the jobs they're touting are mostly lower wage jobs. I'll get into that in a second. Yeah, the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, the disability charts, they're off the hook because of the mandates. The excess mortality, the insurance companies are still claiming it's COVID lockdowns, but it isn't. They claim there's 500,000 new jobs. It's baloney. And most Americans know that the real economy stinks. That's why the polls are showing this. You can happy talk us all you want with these jobs. Hey, get this. This is how they measure new jobs, Philo. They have two different ways, right? And you can see the charts at zerohedge.com. They have a payroll and a household survey, right? And there's a 2.7 million job difference between the number of jobs, supposedly, and two, the number of employed. So if you're counted, if you've got two part-time jobs, they count that as two jobs, not according to the household. If you're living in the household, it means only that you're employed. But if they count you as having two or three part-time jobs, well, that's two or three jobs added to the economy.
Yeah, well, if you're on unemployment and it runs out, you now are not counted as among the unemployed.
That too.
So isn't that a wonderful statistic? But Reagan gave us one even better.
Yeah.
You remember when unemployment went really high under Reagan?
Yeah.
He said, let's count the military. He wanted to skew the numbers by counting the military as employed.
1982 was the worst recession, depression I've ever seen.
Yes.
And it's getting close to that now.
Yes, it was. I remember that very well.
You couldn't buy a friggin' job. And I was in San Diego where you could quit a job as a machinist on a Friday and have 3 new ones by Monday.
I was out of work for a year and 4 months.
Yeah, it was crazy.
In 1983.
So most of these new jobs, Philo, they're being double counted, okay?
Yep.
It's only 12,000 versus 2.7 million. The part-time jobs versus full-time. The part-time numbers are way up, like I mentioned. The a million full-time are way down, and they adjust the numbers. They've adjusted them. And mind you, that these job numbers, if they're coming in now, right, they're from, November, December.
Yep.
When people were hiring for the holidays, which stunk, by the way, for sales, because people are tapped out, man. And it's getting worse. And according to the Philly Fed, there were 2.9 million errors in the job count. Plus, we've got millions of illegals that are bringing down wages. People are paying their bills with credit card debt. We've got the biggest number of electrical shutoffs and rent evictions, and we've got the highest number of auto repossessions we've ever seen since 2009, since the crash of 2009. Okay, yeah, it's crazy. Anyways, they got lawsuits now. I love these. I watch out for these, these lawsuit commercials.
Oh yeah, Sokolov and whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, suck me off. And if you used hair straightener and developed uterine cancer, we'll represent you. It's a real deal. Hair straightener. That's the big thing, man. And these idiots. So, can I touch your hair? You know what? And it's funny, of all the people Joe Biden sniffed hair, he's never sniffed the hair of a person of color, Philo.
Yes.
He's a racist. I told you, he's an old cracker.
He's nuts.
Now think about this, too. The last 4 FBI directors we've had have lied, misled, subverted, censored, and then they developed amnesia when caught or confronted so that they could keep their pensions.
Well,
so they've rigged the elections, dude. There's no other way to do it. To explain it. Our FBI, our secret police, has rigged elections. That's how much they hate Trump. And you know what? People remember, though. People can, they might not remember 50 years ago because they're not old like us. But people can remember 2 years ago. You know what I mean?
I don't think so. Most people up here in the East, they forget after 2 weeks. Whereas in the South, they remember for 200 years. No joke.
You might have a point there.
Yeah, people up here that happened a long time ago. Yeah, 2 weeks.
And you notice the same people that tell us that private schools and home schools and religious schools suck and they shouldn't be paid for with taxpayer funds, Philo. Mm-hmm. That all these same people that tell us that put their kids in private schools.
Of course.
Isn't that funny?
Mm-hmm.
Or even during the pandemic, they didn't have to wear masks. No, they didn't go to public schools.
I've got a picture to show you. I got off that I put on Facebook a while ago. You got to see this after the show's over.
And get this too, down in New York City. You can see the managed decline at DerekHarvey.org. He's a retired colonel. He's got a great website, DEREK, DerekHarvey.org. And get this. They got 11,000 illegal little wetbacks in the New York City school system, Philo.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a chicken pox outbreak because guess what? These kids are being allowed into school with no vaccine records because they burned all their documents when they were on the other side of the river before they got their backs wet coming to the U.S.
But for a while there, you and I couldn't even move without that vaccine card.
Oh, yeah. And you still can't hop on a plane,
Yeah, you can now. They've decided they can't mandate masks on planes anymore either.
And speaking of planes, Pete Buttigieg, our super unqualified transportation secretary, this guy, the only thing he's qualified regarding transportation is maybe riding someone like a donkey. Yeah. Ooh. So anyways, they've had these close calls left and right. You know why? And part of it goes back to diversity. We're hiring air traffic controllers and pilots and co-pilots based on diversity and not on experience or merit. So now we're having close calls. There was one just yesterday, day before, out in Austin. It's crazy town, man. And in Dana Point, did you see what happened to that doctor in Dana Point?
What happened?
Oh man, this guy's out driving his bicycle. He goes for a ride. He's I'm not sure what kind of doctor he is. He's a specialist. Anyways, a great doctor, loved by his patients, his neighbors, everybody. Hops on his bike, goes for a ride. This friggin' crazed Negro runs him down with his car, knocks him off his bike, runs him over, then gets out of his car and stabs the crap out of this doctor, killing him. at Dana Point, California.
Whoa.
And these bystanders came by, and they're all like, look, there's Dr. So-and-so. I mean, Dana Point isn't a very big place, right? So they grabbed this crazed Negro and friggin' held him down till the cops got there. You should see his mugshot. He's like, "Woo!"
Crack addict?
I don't think so, because I think he was just crazed. I think he had a job, he had a car, you know? He just had a Woody for Whitey, man. He was going to take out this doctor. He's white. He's going down.
Well, if he's going to take him out, he should have taken him to a movie. Right?
Yeah.
A really bad movie, I guess.
And you know how they're always telling us that walls don't work, Philo?
Yeah, right.
Walls don't work, but they're putting one around Biden's place. You know, they put one around Zuckerberg's and, you know, Pelosi and everybody else. Oh, it didn't work too good for Pelosi. They're putting up a wall around the friggin' Capitol now.
Yep.
It's like, what the hell? I hope the new speaker in the new Congress has that thing as soon as Dementia Joe's done with his stupid speech tonight. Pull that wall down, man. That house belongs to the people. It's that simple, man.
Okay, last but not least.
Oh, last but not least, Ann Satooni. You know how they always told us, too, that, you know, hey, if you're an illegal alien, you can't get welfare, right? Well, Obama had an Aunt Satooni who lived in Cambridge. She came over from Africa. She was on welfare and food stamps and everything else for years and years and had a subsidized apartment in Cambridge, Massachusetts.
Oh, wow.
And his Uncle Omar, who at least had a job, I guess, his Uncle Omar got busted. He worked at a liquor store or owned one or something. He got busted for DUI. Oh, I didn't even get to the news about Pfizer, you know, and their lies, their response to their lies, and all this other crap. It's Utah bans tranny surgeries and puberty blockers for children. Anyways, well, once again, you wasted a perfectly good hour if you like watching this stupid show. So hopefully we'll see you again next week, inshallah, as the Hebraists say. Good Lord willing, the creek don't rise. So until then, get down on your hands and knees in the men-only mosque, stiffen the bum of the guy in the man dress in front of you, head east towards the meteorite Mecca, and scream, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Akbar, you infidel dogs.
Get a happy Deus Magnus Est to everyone out there.
Oh, quite quick.
Come on, the FBI was here. We're fully cooperating. Fully cooperating. Cooperation is funny. It makes a cloudy day sunny. Makes a bee think of honey. Just don't get honey on your hairy legs. I said it a million times. You never get it off. I told Hunter he won't listen. He's just a kid. He doesn't know better. Hey, look. Here's the deal. I'm the first guy to ever... True story. It's not a joke. First guy in the history of the... Anyway. He's amazing.
More than half the women in my cabinet, more than half the people in my cabinet, more than half the women in my administration are women.
What?
Will you take any blame for inflation, Mr. President?
Am I taking blame for inflation? No.
Why not?
Because it was already there when I got here, man.
What?
We're going to get to work. Thank you for coming.
Mr. President.
And even as the job market reaches historic highs, inflation continues to come down. Come down. The only guy that I'm aware of when I stopped riding Amtrak that had a key to get in the back. When the hell has America ever set a goal that it did reach? When has it ever? Name me a time. Name me a time.
Happening is unbelievable. Don't tell me this is about consistency. Don't tell me that this is about a condemnation of anti-Semitic remarks.
What?
It's time to concentrate. Omar, I'm so sorry, Feb. But I didn't get a single apology. My life was wrecked. Thank you.
Gentlemen, is no longer recognized.
We took a home loan, and we had to do we needed it for lawyers. Of course we did. Hookers and lawyers, that's all Hunter ever spent his money on. I told him they'll both screw you, but only one of them's worth doing a refi on the beach house.
Today, I wanted to introduce you to a new friend in our class. Now this, Huckleberries, is my friend Nash. It's their first day in our class. They're just looking around at all of you, and they're so curious to know who you all are.
No wonder they want so many kids in pre-K.
It was fun. It was really interesting, though, knowing going in, being like, I don't know what questions kiddos are going to have or what they're going to say, which is both like nerve-wracking, but also kind of exciting. It's that place of not knowing as a teacher and just being okay with that.
You're a teacher.
And a friend likes to ask the question, are you a boy or a girl? And Nash answers, I'm just a kid.
But kids can be boys or girls.
They can be boys or girls. Yeah.
Or maybe non-binary.
Yeah.
It was just like
non-binary.
Non-binary, yeah.
What the hell has that got to do with anything?
This is something, I mean, it's like, they're 4 and 5 years old, and they just didn't make a big deal out of being a boy or a girl.
And I think
This
it
is
was a huge
indoctrination.
testament to how much we've been talking about it in the classroom that you never mentioned the term non-binary. It was a child who brought that up
drummed up
because
into
it's
some kid's
constantly
head.
in conversation.
Universe.